Chapter 1. Isla. I had always been interested in the way a sunrise could look entirely different, depending on where in the world one happened to be. Granted, I'd only ever seen a Highland sunrise for most of my life before the clan's abduction. St. Lucia sunrises were a thing to behold, no doubt, with the water and sand painted gold by the early morning rays. Majestic beauty, the sort that made a person stop and hold their breath, as if the mere act of breathing might cause the moment to end. The sunrise I admired high up in the Appalachian Mountains, sadly, did not compare to the tropical sunrises I'd enjoyed after our release from captivity, but they were still a thing of great beauty. Even my dragon could appreciate the quiet serenity in those early hours. A sense of the world coming back to life. Light painting the foothills in the distance, light which spread further and further, touching upon far-off steeples and chimneys, ribbons of road carved into the mountainside. A familiar longing stirred deep within my dragon. I recognized it. The desire to beat my wings against the morning air and keep going. To fly. To explore. There was no greater chance of my being able to do any such thing now as there had ever been at home. Under no circumstances would it be wise to venture from the space directly surrounding the mountain, and its many layers of charms which prevented detection from those below. That would surely make for an interesting news item. A red-scaled dragon soaring high over the mountains. I could just imagine the number of auto accidents that would cause. Soon I would attract military attention, and it would all go to hell from there. But I could wish. I could yearn for something more. Something different. Though I hadn't breathed a word to anyone in my clan, not even Leslie, who at times felt like an extension of myself, the time we'd spent in St. Lucia had served as an awakening of sorts. I could only imagine what the others would think if they heard me speak of it. Most likely, they would assume it was just another case of Isla being Isla. Flighty, giggly Isla, who rarely thought deeply on any subject. For whom life was nothing but a lark. The dragon side of my awareness pushed back at these dark thoughts. My dragon wanted nothing more than to soar, to be free. It was not meant to be. We were born into a world far different than the one in which we currently lived. 1,000 years changed a great many things, and while there was no longer a risk of pursuit by torch-wielding townsfolk, there was no longer a chance of anonymity. Not with satellites and drones and jet planes and such. The most I could do then was to climb ever higher before plunging back down toward the mountain in a free fall, albeit a controlled one. Wind rushed past.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?